My name is Michael Huggins, my co-host Scooty Rowe out in Chicago, and we are here uh, for a couple really fun reasons. But I want to share a little bit of my background and where the heck I came from and why this real estate thing is something that could possibly really work out well for you. So I often get asked, Michael, did you just get lucky, or your parents are probably real estate investors too, or what happened? And said, no, let me back it up a bit, okay? So I got introduced to the idea of real estate investing about 10 years ago. I bought a book on real estate investing. I started reading it because I needed a way to get out of my crappy jobs. I had two full-time jobs. I was working 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, Saturdays and Sundays also, just trying to pay the bills. I had a student loan, and my grandma had co-signed on the student loan with me. So it's not like I could do what a lot of people are doing right now and just telling Navient to go pound sand. You don't get to do that when your grandma co-signed. So I had a lot of financial pressure. I was eating one meal a day because I was just trying to save the money. And when I finally got the idea of real estate investing, I was reading a book and I go to work and people start talking smack. You ever have people talk smack? They're saying, you can't do that. Who are you? And I said, you know what? The book told me you were going to say that, and I ignored them. But you know what? The challenge is with the book, it doesn't talk back. So I started looking around for other situations and seeing if there's a way I can get some more help. I got a newspaper of all things, started looking in the for sale by owner section on real estate. And I came across a little ad talking about a group of investors looking for new people, trainees, potential partners. And I said, hey, I'm open to that. Let me check that out. So I got my only button-up shirt. Everything else was just covered in oil and grease and grime because of the jobs I was working at. And I showed up to this workshop. There were 6 other people there, and they were nice and smiling and happy and welcoming. And they were talking about real estate. And on that day, they were talking about short sales. And I met someone who was making more in a month than I was making in a year with both of my jobs. And I went, dang, I want that. I want to know what the secret is, because it's not getting a master's degree or a PhD. What's the secret here? And so he said, well, why don't you just keep showing up? Why don't you come to this workshop, come to this? So I got connected. I started showing up as often as I could. I was having, still a job, so it was tough. But within 9 months of being involved in this community, I did my first short sale transaction. We bought the house for 119. We sold it for 159 after everyone got paid back. Realtors, closing, everything got paid back. We profited $21,000. Now my job, one of my jobs, paid me $20,000 all year after taxes were taken out. So I thought, you know what? I'm done with this place. You're fired. And so I quit that first job. Well, in those 9 months, I also learned how to keep a pipeline of deals full. So the following month, we closed on another deal. I quit the second job. The next month, closed on another deal, started paying my debts back, which feels awesome, by the way. You got to try it sometime. And I paid off my student loan early. I saved $40,000 paying off my student loan early, $40,000 in interest. I got rid of my mortgage on a rental property, and things just started taking off in a wonderful direction. I've now done multiple fix and flips, short sales, lease options, wholesale deals, and now I'm in the middle of a really big project. We just bought a big piece of land. It's now 265 acres. We're doing a development over the next couple of years, and in the meantime, we're building some cabins and tree houses to do some short-term rentals on this land. It's really quite fun. And so real estate has taken my life in so many directions. I've helped my family. I got my grandma doing some debt acceleration. My mom's doing tax write-off strategies. One of my cousins is in Las Vegas. He's done 200 fix and flips. And this has totally changed how we connect, like at Thanksgiving and family reunions. We're talking about ROIs on retirement accounts now instead of the latest TV show or whatever. So I'm really excited to be a part of this community and that it's growing nationwide. And that's what I want to share with you today. So I'm going to now pass it over to my buddy Scott over in Chicago. Scooty Rally, take it away. You're on mute, my friend.
Sorry.
Here we go.
I remember you coming in at 22 years old.
Yeah, I was a mess. I need a lot of help.
You've definitely transformed. That's for sure, bro.
Thank you.
And my story is, it's different. I came in at 38 years old, having lost a $212,000 a year job because the company went digital instead of humans. So I was in charge of 4 states full of humans. They didn't need me anymore. My wife was in charge of the warehouses the humans went to, so they didn't need her anymore. So we lost the job, and we subsequently lost the ability to pay for a place downtown. Cost you ballet, and you take the elevator up past the guard, right? And I was gone, and we were now southeast. And now we're looking. My wife saw a sign that got her to a hotel. I wouldn't even go. I was like, no way, it's crap. Go down. Tell me about it when you get home. She dragged me to the next meeting. I got dragged. I had to go because when you're married, you stay married and you do what your wife wants. So I went down the next meeting and I met a nurse, Denise, firefighter Steve Saul, 14 properties, XR teacher Jason Seacrest with 22 properties. And, in my world, proof is important. So I'm like, all right, how'd you guys do that? They're like, well, we plug in every single week. This community helped us. There's an education behind it. It's very comprehensive. I sat through the meeting. I was like, all right, enough said, honey. Good job. You found the place. And we got started. And I want to kind of talk about what's possible. Since we started, we became transactional engineers to the point where, we started doing wholesaling first. That's all we learned and knew. And that's the great thing about this education was we were able to take classes on wholesaling and start doing the wholesaling while we are taking classes on fix and flip. So we were like riding a surfboard out in front of that wave we were about to hit, right? So wholesaling turns into, hey, if I want to make 4 figures of property without using money or credit, if I didn't have any, then wholesaling's good. Then you find these properties, you put them under contract. Like a deal we did in Stream was our first rehab, $150,000 in equity. You're like, do I want to make 5,000 on this, or do I want to make 100 on this? So now you use what you just learned about the fix and flip as you're progressively going through this with this community. And then you learn how to do buy and hold. Then you learn how to do notes, tax liens, short sales, all this stuff. So what happens is, for us, I can say this just for me, this was the one-stop shop to learn what we call the 4 levels of real estate investing as a transaction engineer. So I can now take a property and I could wholesale it. So I can put it under contract. If it doesn't work out, I won't lose the property. So I won't even lose the time I put into it because that's a currency. So now this group has taught me how to keep my time and bank it. So now I go from wholesale into fix and flip mode. And because of the resources, because of what I learned about my own credit and raise my credit, because of the cash I've been able to make, because of the relationships I have today, moving into a fix and flip is easy because I'm like, yep, write the check, let's do this. It was already a good deal when I was wholesaling it. So I move into fix and flip mode. And in our world, markets change all the time, and you want to make sure that you learn the right way how to deal with markets. So if I can't move that property in 12 months, usually it's, hey, 6 months is my tops, but you know what? 12 months is the absolute bare minimum. Like, this strategy is done. We're going to move into buy and hold now. So we may change change the loan. We have a short-term loan with high interest and points. We go into a short-term loan, maybe amortized because the tenant's going to pay us. So we can actually have our short-term company cashed out by our long-term company. And I'll tell you what that does for us. It keeps our promises, right? So the bank likes us because they're cashed out. The private investor that was involved, if they're involved, they're cashed out. So like, you always do great work, so come back and see me, right? So that strategy, what this gave me was no idea. I lost properties, and coming into this and learning how to stay out in front of the strategies means that you always have these safety nets. You know what to do next, right? You're not losing money. You're not leaving money on the table because you don't know how to do a certain strategy. You just look at it as almost like an ongoing project. You're not losing your confidence in what you're doing. So anyway, even if I don't want the property, still I got tenants in there. I'll season them for a year. They'll pay me for a year. And if I don't want the property, I'll create a note. I'm like, hey, Michael, got good news and bad news when you're my tenant. Well, what's the bad news, Scoot? Yeah, I'm selling this property. Well, what's the good news? I'm giving you first right of refusal to buy it. Now, even if I encounter a person that says, well, I'm not ready to buy this thing, it sounds great, but I can, usually the but, Michael, has to do with a bank. I'm like, does that but have to do with something you can't do at the bank? Yeah, we're working on it. How about if I'm the bank on this one? So I can literally create the note on that property because I learned how, and record the note. And then I'll tell you what's cool about this, something to think about that I learned in this group and in this education. It's a lot easier to sell a note than it is to sell a property because sophisticated people buy notes and the note's already performing, and the person that has a note has already bought the school district. They've already bought the crime rate. They've already bought all the appliances, the roof. It's all theirs, right? When you're selling a property, like if I have a tenant in a property, I want to sell that property off. The landlord that's buying is checking out rent rolls or checking out the foundation, the roof, the years of the all the electricals. So they're buying the school district, they're buying the crime rate, a landlord would, right? Because they may lose a tenant and have to market that property again. So it's harder to sell a property, and I learned this from this group, and I was able to execute it. It's a lot harder to sell a property to another landlord than it is to sell a note. So I create the note, I put the note on the open market with this group. I mean, one of the instructors is the fourth largest note broker in the country. Just have to call them up, say, hey, I got another one, put it on the open market. So it's something to consider. You're not just should I do real estate? No, you should do real estate the right way. Right? We're not winging it. We're actually, like you said, you're talking different stuff at your parties now because you're immersed in it. And fortunately for us, we didn't have to go to this seminar over here to learn notes. We didn't have to go to this seminar over here to learn buy and hold, this over here to learn this. It was all right here when we got involved. So, and I saw that when I came in, so it's impressive. That's my story. We're doing great. I'm hanging out on a Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Nope, on Thursday. See, you don't even know what day it is. It's so great. So, I haven't had a job since I started with this group. Haven't needed one because of the opportunities that it offered. We're very blessed. We've helped over 15,000 people get started in this thing just because it's the right thing to do. Let people know when you're doing good so you can help them do good. And it's been great. I know we have a workshop this weekend. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing your story, and congrats to all your success, man, and the help that you've provided our community for all the new people coming in. So what we're doing this Saturday is we'd love to introduce you to the caliber of the people that you would get to learn from if you decide to link arms with us. The instructor for this Saturday, her name is Heather Herring. She has been a principal in over 800 fix and flips in the last 10 years. She also became Builder of the Year in 2018 in her area of the country. She's got a ton of awards. She's got a great track record of success, and her ability to demonstrate to a new person how to effectively go out there and build a fix and flip business is something that we really admire about her. So she's going to be our special guest this Saturday. And this is more than just do a fix and flip. It's have a fix and flip business. What are all the ins and outs? What kind of insurances do you need to get? How do you raise the capital correctly? What do you do with the title company? There's so many pieces to it that we brought it all here, and we're going to give you a test drive of how that works this Saturday. It is by invitation only. It's not open to the public. So you'll need to get the private link for whoever invited you here today. They have the access to that, and they'll get you registered and put you on our guest list. It starts at 9 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're going to go pretty much all day. There will be a lunch break, but we're going to go till 5 p.m. And so we're going to jam pack this with value, be in a spot where you can pay attention, take some good notes, and let's take the business to the next level. Stop being an amateur and let's start being a professional. So link arms with us. Thanks for being here today. We are now at the time. So I want to congratulate all of you guys for making time to be here with us. And we will see you all this weekend. Have a good one.
I'll see you.